All right, ready for this musical intro?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
Has he written something for us?
What do you got? I like the progression.
Something about space aliens,
I'm
maybe?
intrigued. Oh, it's just music. I thought that'd be okay.
I thought he had some
Some
lyrics,
lyrical-
maybe. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Corridor Digital Podcast, man. I don't know why I'm talking with a Jamaican accent,
What?
but here we are.
Here we
It
go.
just kinda
Well, you
came
gotta
out
lean
of
into
me.
it, man.
What are you, Chet
Guys,
Hanks? What's going on with you?
episode-
What a reference!
Yo, I was born in Jamaica, okay? I'm Chet.
Okay,
We're
so
10
Chet,
seconds in and there's already a Chet Hanks reference.
there had to be.
All right,
Yeah.
look,
had to get it in
look,
quick.
It's episode 179. It's been a long, strange trip. I don't know how we got here, but here we are. Wren and I have the same shirt on.
Gosh,
that's
that's
you do.
weird.
So that's
Look
happening.
at that. CorridorDigital.store.
Yeah, and of course, well, you missed it. If you're going now, you missed it.
Oh, yeah, good point. No
yeah.
store for you.
Right, no store for you. We have Wren today. Hello, Wren.
Hi.
Hi, Ren.
We
Hi,
have
Matt.
Jordan Allen.
Hi.
God damn it.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Jordan.
We have Matthew Cairns.
Hi,
of
Matt.
course.
You Karens?
Yeah. So, guys, before we get into the UFO stuff, because that's what we're gonna jump right into.
Yeah.
I've
We'll
got
get
one quick thing. I need to let the world know. Today's
You got
birthday
it.
in country western music.
What is that?
Coulter Wall released a new record, and I bought it. And you don't have
Little
to buy it on
songs.
vinyl, but here it
Wow.
is.
You did, though.
Do you put
I
that in
did.
like a
It's special to
Laserdisc
you.
player?
Yes,
How does
Wren,
it
that's
work?
exactly. Yeah, you put it in a laser.
It looks too big for
player.
a CD player.
It goes in a CD player that's of an enlarged. You know those 3-track or 5-track CD players? You put it on there.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
okay. That makes more
Yeah.
sense now. I get it.
I
Yeah.
like
Very
that
cool.
artist a lot. I actually really like his collab with Chet Hanks.
Yeah, he does do a good.
One of his best.
Yeah, that Jamaican
Yeah, one of the
country.
infusion. Yeah, it's really special.
Yeah.
Man, awesome,
How
Jake.
dare you? How dare you tarnish the good name
Of Chet Hanks,
Coulter
I'm
Wall.
sorry.
I-
wait.
Listeners, please do count the amount of Chet Hanks references
Yeah,
we'll
vote for
make on this
Chet,
podcast because
2024.
we're really trying to
Yeah.
get the numbers up.
Trying to bring him
We're
back.
trying to get those numbers up, guys. He really, I really think he has something to contribute. Something
He does.
big.
He does.
Yeah.
Also, can I just
something
give a
big.
shout out to Matt real quick for bringing us these beers today?
I mean, they're cool looking. Just the
They're
can
very
alone.
cool. This is legitimately one of my top 3 favorite beers of all time.
Yep.
Mm.
And I have not been able to find it for months.
Well, buddy, it's one of mine too, and
Wow.
I know where to find the good stuff.
For those of you listening, it's called Dig My Earth, and it's got this like crazy fox thing on
Yeah.
top
Look
of it.
at
It's
it.
from Breweridge West. I don't know.
Brewery West.
Brewery?
It's
Is that
like
a Y?
spelled with German words.
Oh,
I don't
gotcha.
know.
Yeah, I always
yeah.
just know it's the fox beer.
Yeah, it's a fox
Wow,
beer.
that's very
It's a
cool.
double
Brewery
IPA.
West.
Yeah,
Really?
all their
Very rich
brews
in
are
flavor.
quite
Brewery
good.
West.
But yeah, so in case you're not a beer fan, let's move on.
yeah.
Hey,
I just wanted to give you a shout out because this like
Listen, a lot's
legitimately made
been
my day.
happening.
Yeah.
A lot's
Well,
been happening. Okay.
I'm glad I could give you that gift.
We not only did we release a debunking, we then did this whole thing where we slipped a secret UFO video into the
Oh.
debunking episode and
Yeah.
had Sam and Nico react to it.
Sneaky.
And then we did a Crew Cuts episode about that. And then you had the audacity to make another UFO video to try to fool the internet. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's gotten into you two, but I think you need to explain yourselves.
Yeah.
I,
mean,
love this story so
Yeah,
much.
honestly-
This started months ago, for the record.
Yeah, no, 5 months ago now. This started 5 months ago, this whole saga, and it's so long and involved that there's what's on the cutting room floor right now, what didn't make the final edit of this latest crew video is enough to fill a podcast, which is why we're here today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
We-
that video just dropped on Corridor today. And it's going up on
Yeah.
YouTube tomorrow. So I haven't even seen this final video yet.
Right. Yeah. So the world will. You haven't seen it.
Not the
but-
final upload.
Right. Yeah. So by the time this podcast is out, it'll be out there. But it was a whole journey to get to the post of this second video. Like, so if we're going all the way back,
Can I just this started as a thing called Project Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Oh my
going
gosh, that is all
all
the
That's
the
way
what
way
we
back.
called it.
Where-
Yeah.
Oh, that's
all I know
all
is
the
that
way
like
back.
because we have tons of ideas, we have a new video coming out every week, so we
That's
always
right.
have like these brainstorming sessions. And
Yeah.
one of the ideas was like, what if we could fool the internet with a fake UFO video?
Yeah.
And I was
then-
like, oh, let's do it as a challenge. And Matt was like so excited. He did the whole challenge before we even started recording anything.
Yeah,
and he
I was-
finished it.
I was amped to do it, man, because it was such an interesting idea, and there's something like immediately that I saw in my head, like a game plan that started formulating, and I was like, I can just do it real quick because it's not like the VFX are hard.
Yeah,
for
how
this,
long did
right?
it take you to do the actual effect?
Like an hour, maybe.
Okay.
Total time
Absolutely.
for
Including
VFX,
render
'cause it-
time?
yeah, exactly. Because it was just like it's just a dot. It was
It's
just
a
a dot that needed to move across the frame. And really, like, I just took a step back and I just watched a bunch of UFO videos on r/UFO.
Okay.
The subreddit, the main subreddit of the UFO
the hub.
community. Yeah,
it's
the hub.
UFOs, right?
UFOs. Yeah, RFU.
Not
Because
to
I
be
went to
confused with UFO.
r/UFO and it
Oh,
was
you-
not the correct subreddit.
okay.
No, that's
It's probably
totally
UFO.
different.
It's not even the same thing.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with UFOs.
Yeah.
It's actually
And
about
also it's not
unidentified ferocious otters.
/UAPs
Nice.
either.
What's that?
It's not /UAPs either.
No.
Just
Yeah.
to be clear.
Yeah, because the world understands them as UFOs. You can mix and match the names
The
around.
government
but-
can try to change the name of it all they
Yeah.
want to sort of get us to forget about it, but we all know the truth is out there.
Yeah.
It ain't my
Okay.
UFO.
Right. Exactly.
I'm a UFO guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of watched a bunch of videos and the ones that were the most trending, the most popular. And also had a bunch of people in the comments buying it, believing it, whether it's real footage or not. I just kind of wanted to go like, what's like the best angle for this? And honestly, like the big thing was the perspective, like the plate,
The
right?
unique,
The unique angle to get people to click on it and watch it. So that really came from having access to pilot footage, like cockpit footage in a plane that I already had and knew that I could get. So it was something where it was really easy for me to access it, get a bunch of different options for footage because my stepdad is a pilot. If you didn't know, I've said that many times, but and now you know. So now I have this footage and I'm like, okay, what's the best angle? Boom, I got it.
Yeah.
What should I do for the VFX? Basically, just very simply animate a dot flying across the frame from right to left, stopping abruptly, and then changing direction. And that's the thing that really will cement this as not like a phenomenon that makes sense.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
there's levels to it too with, first of all, inside a cockpit is one of the most unique perspectives I've ever seen. As soon as I heard you were doing that, I knew it was going to be good immediately.
Hell yeah.
So did
And-
you already have the footage in your back pocket, or did you specifically ask your stepdad to get this footage?
Yeah. So, well, because I knew that he was, of course, he's a pilot and he's been flying for a really long time. So I knew that he would just and he loves his iPhone. He loves filming on the thing. So I figured that he would have footage already. So I did just ask him, do you have anything that already that you can just send me? And he said, yeah, I'll send you this, this, and this. And for him, really, like what he's filming is just passing planes.
Mhm.
He just wants to film planes going by
It
because he
didn't
thinks
look
they're
like-
cool.
it didn't look like
I
there
do
was a
that
plane in
too.
there.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm in an airplane and I look out and I see another airplane, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
get my phone
yeah.
out. This
Yeah,
is cool.
exactly.
Do you
It's
think there's
exactly- it
somebody
looks
in
cool.
that airplane doing the exact same thing?
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Dude, I wish
There's
they
a
could just
reverse angle.
They just
Yeah,
wave at each
we
other
could- We
as
should
they
start
pass.
like a metadata community online that you can just upload your plane footage
Yeah.
to. And
That's
see
the
if
move.
we can see if we can connect the footage.
Triangulate
Oh,
the
man,
footage.
we should do that.
That
Guys,
would be
that's
sick. Yeah.
What-
That's a crazy idea.
I don't want to think about metadata anymore. We'll get to that
that's
later.
fair. That's very
We'll get to
fair.
that later. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that didn't make the final video either. It's just the whole metadata journey. But anyway,
Wait, really?
Yeah, there's we'll talk about
Okay,
all this,
okay.
but there's
So
a
you
lot of
got
stuff that
the
didn't
clip.
make the final cut.
So you got
yeah.
the clip, the airplane clip.
Yeah, so I got the airplane clip. So obviously like you guys didn't see a plane, even though so I just strategically like placed the shot in a place that you couldn't see another plane passing. It was before you actually saw the clip of the plane moving. So I just used the everything before that, right? So it was just a clean sky that I could then place an object in. And I strategically had the camera move. So I strategically like placed a moment in there where the camera was moving just for no reason, but it looked like it was tracking with the object, right? So it's just sort of selling the idea that it's found footage, right? So from there we basically take this video and I put it on the subreddit, right? I post it, right?
You upload directly to Reddit. It's not hosted anywhere else. It's hosted on reddit.com.
That's right. Yeah. So it's on reddit.com, right? And it like from there takes off. Like as soon as I put it up, it started getting views.
That was crazy.
Dude, didn't you put it up on like a Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
Like, it was like an hour before the day was over, and you're already like as we're like getting ready to like head out for the day, it's like, oh, it's getting views. I was like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Yeah. Well, it was a thing that I was just thinking, I'll let it cook over the weekend, and hopefully on Monday it'll get some traction or something. And we're just like, the day's about to end, and all of us are just watching it like explode.
It's getting comments, people are buying it. It's
hundreds
like,
of thousands of views and just like a bunch of comments.
Because you also made it incredibly subtle. Like you made it almost too subtle.
Yeah.
Very,
like it was
very
hard
subtle.
to see, and that's I think
comment
what aids
about
it.
that I've been meaning to bring up about the subtleness of it.
Yeah.
Did you also notice that there's like a bird in the shot as well?
Of the original one?
The object passes and then it goes down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right as it goes down, like there's another small black object that like crosses the frame slightly higher than it.
I think that was a bird.
I thought that was a fly. No. I think that's actually a speck on the windshield when it's moving.
Is it?
I believe so.
I didn't know if you did that intentionally or because when I first watched it, that's what I saw, and I was thinking, did it cross the frame and then go that way? Or
look at the imagination at play. Look
but
at
this is the thing, man.
This is
the subtlety makes the comments go nuts.
Yeah,
because like people are seeing all kinds of stuff in the footage, right? Cool. It's not just the thing you want them to see. It's like all kinds of other things because they're really, when you make them really look for something, it's like you can see all kinds of stuff. Your imagination runs wild at that point.
There was that one comment. I mean, this, if you want to know if you were subtle or not, there's that one comment that's like, hey, I can't see it. And someone posted a picture circling 2 black dots and neither one was the right one.
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that psychology experiment where they asked college students to pick out how many times a basketball was bounced between two basketball teams? Wren, you've probably heard of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know this one.
They
I love
did
this one.
test and they put 2 teams. One was in white jerseys, one was in black jerseys, and they bounced the ball back and forth a bunch of times, and they just had like a static shot of the ball.
You have to count
bouncing.
the passes, yeah.
And so they had people come in and they said, okay, count the number of passes between the teams. And so people would sit there for like the 90 seconds or whatever that the clip was, and they'd sit there and they'd count them all, and most people got it right. And then they'd go, okay, did you notice the gorilla that came into the screen?
I've seen it.
And like hooted and pounded its chest and then ran off screen, and half of the people didn't see it.
Yeah,
straight up.
I've seen that. I didn't see it either. There's one online that's like that.
It got you too?
It got me too.
Wow.
I was so surprised going back and watching it again.
You're looking for something, and when you watch the UFO footage, you're like looking for the thing that's not supposed to be there.
I want to believe so hard.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that just that experiment kind of like goes right in line with that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's exactly it. It's because people were like paying attention, wanting to believe, wanting to see something, and then there was actually something there. So, you see this, it's like actually a crazy aerial phenomenon that doesn't really make sense. So that also got things really moving.
But then people started asking for the original files.
That's right. They did.
So what did you do?
And why did they ask for that? Because I made a version of this video that was screen capped from my iPhone. So that I could zoom in, pinch in, and like really like get the thing clear, right? That you can see something happening in the frame. But I didn't want it to seem like I was an editor or had anything to do with filmmaking.
And it does add that additional layer of separation.
Yeah, it does.
Where you can further kind of hide
that all helps a lot.
Even though your Reddit account was Mumble Films Pro, but that's okay.
It doesn't matter. I didn't think that mattered. I mean, it matters now when we did the second one, but it just it wasn't like it wasn't super important to me.
Anything, guys.
Yeah, that part wasn't super important to me. I just really at that point I was just trying to do it fast and dirty, and I was super cocky about it too. So, I just was like, this is going to work. This is totally going to work. I don't care if the Reddit account has some holes in it. It's not a big deal for me. And people didn't really look at it necessarily, but they did want the original file, right? And I was like, I could give it to them.
There you go.
I could give it to them. Because the thing is, when you look at a video file on the Windows, operating system, it shows you a certain amount of metadata, but it doesn't show you everything. I didn't know that. I thought that the amount of metadata that it's giving you is everything that you need to know about the file. Even, when you look into it, there's nothing else to see.
No, the chances are your men are already dead. they know all the metadata.
Yeah. And that was my big mistake
this is my favorite part of the whole story by far.
My huge mistake was that even though I tried to have some forethought into having the file on the desktop in a folder that wasn't suspicious, and and naming the file an iPhone, naming convention and all this stuff, right? What happened was they simply plugged the file into a website called Metadata to Go and could Metadata to Go can extract literally everything, all the stuff you need
to go,
such as an original file path for where the video was exported from.
That's
or
right.
exported to, rather.
Well, as long as you didn't name it anything weird, suspicious, right?
Anything suspicious.
Yeah, if you would have just named it Uncle's Footage V1, it would have been and not
V1.
V1 is an immediate giveaway.
Underscore final V2.
V1. Shit.
But Matt, what was it?
MVI underscore date.
It was
whatever.
It was Matt's totally real UFO footage, undeniable evidence.
dot
AEP After Effects project. It was clearly an After Effects project in a folder that was linked us to Corridor Digital.
Yeah. The file path was our master server starting location, Corridor projects, Corridor crew, UFO footage, Matt's undeniable evidence .v1 .aep. It was just dead in the water.
The comments too.
The Reddit that showed up in a comment on the Reddit thread.
Busted.
When you first saw that, because that all happened off camera, rather off camera from my eyes, you were home.
Well, no, here this is the part that also didn't make the final cut of the crew video. This detail. This night I went on a first date with a girl. Okay. And I didn't find out what was happening until I had gotten there and we were sitting down to eat.
And you were flying high too.
And I was flying
ultra
high. I was like, this is going to be a great date because I'm so amped right now. This is going to be awesome.
I could not wait to tell this girl that
I'm going to talk to this girl about UFOs for hours. She's going to love it because girls love this stuff.
Yeah, girls. And when they go on dates with guys who go on about UFOs.
Girls love UFOs.
I heard that.
Yeah, and they love guys that are super amped about tricking the internet and thinking they're real. So I sit down. She goes to the bathroom. I check my phone because I'm not going to check my phone. Come on, I'm better than that.
You got class.
I'm better than that. But she goes to the bathroom. I check my phone. Okay, and I see this comment of a guy that doxed me. So just outright put all of the metadata in the comments, and I was like, shit. I was like, I had to do something quick. I had to do something real quick. Because I was like, well, if the other guys are going to try to make UFO videos, I got to burn the whole thing to the ground. Right? I got to burn the whole thing. So I deleted the entire post. I had to immediately, even though it was all taken out. There was no choice. The
plan was that the next week, we were all going to work on this video. We were all going to make our own UFO renders and try to fool the internet.
You'd been mad.
But I not only burned myself, I burned the entire Corridor crew. they
almost burned the entirety of Project Maple Leaf.
Yeah. This could have not been a video at all.
The goal with Project Maple Leaf was not only to create the perfect UFO footage that would fool the internet, it was also to create the perfect UFO footage that would fool Sam and Nico in a UFO debunking episode.
Yeah. What you guys may not know is, again, Project Maple Leaf has been in existence for over a year.
Yeah.
Like over a year?
Oh, the general concept.
It was a very underground thing. I think it was like Fenner was in the know. I was in the know. Christian,
about 4 of
Jake,
us.
you were in the know.
I was not in the know.
Yeah. No, that's true, because I said this lasted like 4 or 5 months, but that's my personal experience. Like previously, y'all had started talking about this a year ago, right?
And again, the intention was to fool you guys. We weren't sure if you were going to be in it, So we needed it to be as hush-hush as possible.
No, for sure. It makes sense.
Fenner created the Reddit username XXX Files XXX.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Right.
Yep.
And that was one of the parts of it. It was like, okay, we need to start creating accounts so that when we get to the point, like they have karma and we can.
That's right.
Wait, why did we not use that account for this then?
Oh, we did.
We did? Okay.
Oh, we did.
Right. Okay, good.
Ren hasn't seen the video yet.
I'm still in the dark. I've seen all of the behind the scenes. I was there for a lot, but I've yet to see the final thing. I can't wait.
That's all good. We'll get there. Yeah. So, where are we in this story? Jesus.
So this is metadata. You have been doxxed.
You burned the account,
and the comments were going nuts.
The post.
Oh, there's a guy called Matt who works at Corridor. Oh, Matt does VFX. And it was incredible.
They had you pinned, brother.
Yeah.
They had you pinned.
Dead in the water.
I know.
Corridor crew. That's
Nothing
a
I can do about
VFX
it.
company. There's a guy named Matt that works there.
Yeah.
This must be him. Like they knew it was you. They didn't
Totally,
just know
man.
that it was fake.
You know
They
what's
knew
the
that it was
crazy
you.
thing? So
That's the craziest part.
I was like working on the crew video, like the editing, and I also like directed the piece too. So it was like I was like deep in the weeds on it in the last couple of weeks. I sent like one of the earlier cuts to some of my friends that are like super critical about shit. But one of them is also like a history professor, and he told me that this metadata thing, like having blunders like that, there's something that happened recently with Russia. The Kremlin released a bunch of like fake propaganda videos, and they got found out because of the metadata.
What?
Whoa.
Same kind of thing, where they were making Ukrainians look bad with like
Doctored.
footage of war, of them like infiltrating some bases or something like that. I don't know the details of this as much, but
War
yeah.
stuff.
So war stuff.
You mean to tell me
yeah,
that the Russian government,
I know, it's crazy.
the Russian government released propaganda footage
Yeah,
to their people to try
Exactly.
to fool them for something?
I believe they're also trying to fool
That's
Ukrainians as well.
that's
They're
insane,
trying
bro.
to spin the narrative on
They're trying
Ukrainians.
to fool the
That's
world.
Yeah.
insane.
But like,
I
yeah.
would've
So anyway,
never- I would've never thought that.
metadata got them caught. There was the same kind of thing where it was
Wow,
like it was
good.
linked to an editing file, like a Premiere project or something like that.
dang.
So yeah, same kind of deal, man. So
Okay, so you're on this
Wow.
date. She's gone to the bathroom. You've just found out that you have to burn everything to the ground.
Burn
do you
it
burn it
down.
down there, or do you wait until after
I
the
burned it
date's
down
over?
there.
Yeah.
So
She's
right
coming
then and
back-
there, you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was like, well, not talking about UFOs tonight.
She comes back and you're just covered in
Yeah,
sweat.
I'm just dripping
like
in
that Key
sweat.
and Peele meme where
Yeah.
you're
She
just
comes back,
sweating
she's
at
like,
the table.
all right, so tell me more about this UFO post you just made.
Yeah.
And you're like, what post?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Why
'cause
are we
she
on
was-
this date?
Let's just change the subject. What do you like to do on the
What do
weekends?
you do?
Yeah, what do you do? Do you work? What do you
Cry.
What do you do?
I like to cry.
And I think, was it the next night? Because there was a little get together at Peter's place.
Yeah.
And I saw Matt there and I was frothing for
Oh.
information. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I went and I found him immediately. I'm like, Matt, what's the view count?
And
Where's
I
it
was
at?
like-
And I'd never seen a more broken man.
I was so
He's
dead
like, I gotta
inside.
tell you something.
I was so dead inside.
It's all gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
it's
And
all
then
rough.
like months passed because we're like, well, we can't do this video now. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like
So-
it's
so
fresh in
yes.
everyone's memory on the subreddit, and this is the subreddit specifically that we're trying
Yeah.
to fool.
Yeah.
It's the biggest community. It's necessary to do it like this.
So
It makes the most sense.
A couple months went by. Things were dead. The case had gone cold.
That's right.
And then Nick comes up with the idea. Hey, we already shot a lot of that. We could probably just do a couple extra scenes and fill in the gaps and release a new episode. like an episode just based on that.
Yeah, based on the original story.
That whole like story that we just told.
Right.
And then we pitched that to you, Matt, and you and Jordan said, you know what? Let's take it one step further.
Yeah.
Let's make another one.
That's right.
Do it again.
That's right. Let's do it again. Let's try to take all the stuff that we learned and make a better video that will actually work.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm one thing I would say about the new approach is, whose idea was the Tesla cam?
So, okay, throw this out there. That was actually, I believe, you and Nick were.
Oh, we were going to do it for ours.
You were going to do
it that long ago. I forgot.
Yeah, you were originally going to do it.
Whose idea was that?
I was like, that's a great idea.
The reason why I know this is because in the original footage, when I'm going like check this out, I'm nailing it. You know, I'm freaking like in there, super cocky, like you know, with the Reddit post. You guys are in the background, you and Nick talking about your idea, like we got to do something that's like better, you know. And you're like, what if we do Tesla cam footage?
That's so funny,
right? And so I see that, and I'm like, well,
I was about to compliment it.
It is a good idea.
It's a really good idea.
It is a good.
I thought if we're doing bad cop, and he's already going that hard, then I got to go even harder.
It might have come from Nick too. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, that's the thing, is the unique perspective. And when we started ours, I was a little bummed because the airplane cockpit was taken, right? And that's the primo.
Yeah,
that's the ultimate. Good. A pilot filming a UFO is like immediate credit.
Because guys, pilots know about the skies.
They know. They know they're flat.
About aircraft.
They do know it's flat.
They know
too,
it's flat. They're on the
government
payroll.
They can take it from unidentified to identified.
That's right.
Exactly.
See that? That's the big difference.
Yeah. So if a pilot thinks something,
it's basically as good as a doctor. You know?
Yeah. Sky doctor.
Doctor of the skies.
Yeah.
So, but who is the second most informed? Second most from pilots? Tesla owners.
Right? Clearly.
Doctors of the
according to
Twitter,
roads.
Not ambulances.
Those are or mechanics. I feel like those are probably more doctors of the road.
Okay. The point is we thought that I think moving forward to the Tesla angle would be great, because like having the ability to record immediately something that you just saw flying through the sky. That's what Teslas do. Yeah. There's an ability.
That's what Teslas do.
That's what Teslas do.
They just record stuff going through the sky.
They can find UFOs. If you're ever trying to catch a UFO, you just honk your horn and you capture the last 10 minutes of footage. You know, it's always rolling essentially.
Hey, Wren, I had a question about that. Quick question. Does it record into the future as well? Like once you honk it, does it keep going for 10 minutes?
It does, actually.
I was going to say you should add that feature. That way, you know.
I mean, it doesn't record the future, but it does keep rolling for another like 30 seconds or so.
You're like watching ahead of where you are. It's like, oh no.
If I honk my horn right now, it'll tell us 10 minutes into the future for the next 5 minutes.
The passenger is scrubbing ahead. You're going to get cut off in 4 minutes.
Oh my God. That's like a scene out of There's Still No Time to Explain.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah, that's a good one for the sequel.
But yeah, okay, just to clarify like what a Tesla does. So there's a bunch of cameras on a Tesla. There's 3 facing forward, there's 2 on both sides, and then there's 1 in the back. That's like, 8 cameras total? Yeah. But 4 of those cameras are constantly recording to a thumb drive in the glove compartment at all times. And anytime you basically get into an accident or you honk the horn or you manually hit the button, it'll automatically record the last 5, 10, 30 minutes. I think you can choose an option for it. And so that's why you're always seeing a lot of dash cam footage from Teslas. Because they're just always rolling.
Yeah. And Wren, you, much like a pilot, have a Tesla.
So, okay, you approached me.
You have a land ship.
Instead of Nico or Nick, which they also have Teslas. You could have asked them.
Yeah, but you're more, you're fun. You're a fun guy.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
No, they're all fun.
But I was hesitant because I got into a car accident in 2021 and my Tesla was totaled.
Yeah.
And then I got dragged through the mud on Twitter for basically complaining that my Tesla got totaled. So then I ended up getting another one several months later. I tried to spend as much time as I could without a car at all. I one-wheeled to work every single day for like 4 months. That got old after a while.
Yeah.
But then I ended up getting another Tesla, and I never once mentioned publicly that I did.
So
never once said to anyone online that I have a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I want you to do this. And I was like, okay.
Please,
all right, here
for us, please. And he generously offered to drive all the way up the mountains.
Well, that was the other thing. You're like, I want it to be like not in the city. I want it to be somewhere outside the city, like out there.
Where there's no other people who would be watching or filming.
Like where the truth is out there.
truth is out there.
exactly.
Yeah.
This wasn't like really. This was cut out of the video too. But like the idea, the angle behind that was like, we wanted like not only a unique perspective, but a location that kind of got more clicks with something a little bit more interesting and also made sense because, you know, if you see a UFO, a weird phenomenon in a city, there's a lot of people in a city, you know, a lot of witnesses. So we wanted to go to a place.
Multiple angles of that.
Yeah, exactly. So we wanted a place that justified its existence, you know, and, something that was a little bit more remote.
So I'm sitting there, this is like a Wednesday or something like that. And you're like, hey, I need you to drive out into the middle of nowhere, like ASAP.
Yeah.
This weekend. It's Friday.
This weekend? And he's like, oh yeah, that'll be great. I'm like, so you want me to drive out in the middle of nowhere this weekend?
Yeah. And
I was like, okay.
I know it sucks, but you made a one-wheel trip out of it.
I made a one-wheel trip out of it. So it was great. Me and a bunch of buddies, we went up to the top of the Mountain Disappointment and one-wheeled all the way down to the bottom. It was like a 5 or 6 hour journey. It was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Quick.
And then I got...
I know you're going to ask, why is it called Mountain Disappointment? It's called Mountain Disappointment because they thought it was the highest peak, and then when they actually measured it, they found out it wasn't.
So they renamed it.
So
you get... I mean, what if somebody did that
to answer the comment that's before it happens? That's all.
It's the same mountain we filmed the Far Cry Goat Simulator video on.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love that video.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Which is very, very high up. It's over a mile up in the sky. It's got a higher elevation than Denver.
Disappointingly high.
Yeah. Let's leave something to be desired.
Disappointingly high.
Gatekeeping mountain height today.
Yeah.
That's
What was it originally called?
I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it probably had many other names by other peoples, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, all right, if I'm going to go do this, I might as well make a trip out of it. And it worked out. So I ended up having a blast. And the footage was an afterthought.
Well, so Wren, in all honesty, though, Wren, it was only you. We couldn't get Sam or Nico, right?
Or Nico and Nick.
Or Nico and Nick.
Sam does not.
We could get Nick. Sam doesn't have. Right. We couldn't get Nico because Nico was someone we were trying to fool on the debunking video.
You're right, of course.
He couldn't really know about this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, but you didn't fool him with that video.
With the new one. Yeah, well, I guess not the new one. But
right.
Because Nico was going to be on that trip.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to be like super aware of like what we were trying to do and, you know, the whole process. I don't know. We just wanted to keep it a little bit more, you know, low key.
We were revealing it to him and Sam at the end.
Yeah,
so he didn't know about like, you know, the aspect of the Tesla multicam approach.
As we got to completing this footage with the Tesla that you captured and then Jordan and Matt went to work on, then the plan became, okay, we're going to bounce this off of Sam and Nico to get their reactions and thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But before we do that, because they still haven't seen the Project Maple Leaf footage and they still don't know about it, we're going to introduce that to them in an actual debunking scene. So it worked out perfectly because the justification was this. Jordan and Matt have made new UFO footage. UFOs are hot once again because every few months there's some quote leak. Well, there was just a leak like a couple of weeks ago. And so they were talked about once again. So we said, okay, it's time to do another debunking video. And Sam and Nico were like, yeah, great idea. It's timely. Let's do another one. And we're going to follow it up with this story. And they were like, great, makes perfect sense. And then that was the perfect opportunity to slip in the old footage that they still hadn't seen. And
that's right.
That's exactly what we finally did. And so we get to debunking day and Matt's downstairs with Nick waiting to come up. Now
you're talking about like the debunking video that I was part of, right?
Yes. And Wren, we had told you about it at that point. We said we're going to introduce footage, just pretend like it was submitted to us by an email or whatever.
Because I was already very well familiar with the original effect shot.
For sure, you watched me do it and stuff. Yeah, and you were a man on the inside. Someone had to kind of present the footage and stuff like that.
The real test was whether or not only whether or not Sam and Nico would believe it, but whether or not they would be able to pick out anything about it.
Yeah.
It took all of like 5 seconds of Sam and Nico like staring intently, and Nico goes, yeah, it's fake.
But it passed the first level of scrutiny, which was like, the original pass where it passed the laughable test.
Yeah.
And there's only been in the history of the debunking series, there's only been like a handful, maybe 5 videos that have even passed
Project Loon.
Project Loon, right?
Loon.
Project Loon, the most infamous one, and I think after Project Loon, this one probably is the next one in terms of believability.
That works for me.
Well, I mean, they said it was the best one that they were looking at.
Yeah, I don't
as
know if that's because
believability.
they were saying it to my face, but
yeah, right.
Still though, it was good to at least get some of their knowledge, like Natty, without that extra layer of context for them. They thought they were just looking at a video that was on the internet that had no connection to us. So that was super helpful to kind of just get like a base understanding of maybe what high-level VFX artists might think
Do
about.
you know how hard it is around here to keep certain things quiet from other people for
Very hard.
6 months?
Yeah, it's super hard. Yeah.
we sprang a few leaks on the way.
Yeah, there were definitely some leaks.
Things get out. They have a way of getting out.
But as far as the footage, the Tesla footage, of course, there's the unique perspective of multiple cameras, which I think kind of silences some of the critics who might be questioning it. But there's also the aspect of performance. And this is something I was talking with Nick about in the very beginning when we were all going to do separate videos, is how do we get 3 different perspectives, but none of them feature performance of seeing a UFO? Because that is so hard to do naturally.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen, when they're debunking, I've seen them just dismiss stuff based on the audio.
For sure.
Of someone, like, Wren, you just spotted a UFO.
Oh my God, it is a UFO.
Ooh.
Right?
Whoa,
I mean,
bro,
that was
that's
pretty
crazy. How did that get up there? I don't know.
Whoa.
Wait, are you recording right now?
That?
And then if you go the
That's
other
basically-
direction and you go too quiet,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, whoa, I wouldn't do that.
No one
No.
believes it.
No one's going to believe that. So what is a medium that
Whoa,
strips
double
all
rainbow.
audio? Well, the Tesla cam.
Yeah, they don't.
You're not going to
record
hear
audio.
anybody. You're going to hear the driver going, what the heck?
Mhm.
And just ruin your whole day.
What
So,
the heck?
It was
That
unique and it was
How
silent.
about
So it was like a
what
really
the
nice.
What the heck?
What the heck is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, the silence is key for sure. Yeah, because it's super hard to just honestly, like, even if we did have some footage that had audio recorded, you just wouldn't say anything. That's the best move, is just don't say anything.
And even breathing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's not going to
Yeah.
land.
So you made the shot. You did the VFX on, was it 2 or 3 of the
3.
views? It was all 3
3 total,
views,
yeah.
or basically all 3. Then you posted it. You
Yeah.
posted it
Well, this is
to
where the
r/UFOs.
social engineering comes into play.
It does.
'Cause
Yeah.
One does not simply just post a
Mm-mm.
UFO.
Into Mordor.
You know what's crazy,
Yeah.
you guys? This is great, but y'all are getting a little bit too far ahead because there's some other stuff. There's a couple of more details here that I'd like to
Okay.
talk about.
Okay.
The metadata and
that's right.
the visual
How could we
effects shot
forget?
as well.
Mm.
Okay, so let's start with the visual effects shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there was everything we considered: the camera tracking, the animation of the UFO.
The compression
Well,
artifacts. Oh,
yeah,
you're getting to that.
exactly.
I'll let
I am
you talk.
getting to that.
I'll let
Yeah.
you talk.
It's okay, Ren. No,
I'm
you're
just so excited.
you're on the right page. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you've skipped a couple of them, but yeah. So basically, like, there's all this thought put into this VFX shot that Jordan and I just kind of bounced off each other on to just kind of get it feeling believable. But the main thing here, and we didn't realize it till pretty much we were like wrapping up the shot and about to post it. Like, this was the day of that
Yeah.
we were going to post this
It was.
shot, right? These 3 angles, and we had everything else figured out. And then we just took a step back and we looked at it one more time, and we went, "This doesn't feel real."
It's
still.
not in there just right.
Even though we thought about everything here and made it feel like it was actually moving through the sky, there was something we were missing, and indeed, that was the compression.
Yeah, truly.
It was
Oh,
100% the compression.
Yeah.
Because the Tesla cams, for all the technology and crazy nonsense that is in those cars, their cameras are terrible.
Woof,
they're kind
man.
of garbage.
They're pretty
Woof.
bad.
The compression is nasty.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
So
So even with the dot, I mean, like a dot, it was, I think we measured it's like 50 pixels or something.
yeah,
Even that felt like it was sitting just above the compression
yeah.
in such a way that made it feel like it popped out and it wasn't a cohesive
Yes.
part of it.
So when you zoom all the way in, you see this, like, the pixel, the density doesn't match,
Yeah.
you know, and there's also all these compression artifacts.
Mhm.
And the craziest thing actually is that there was another object in the sky that we didn't know what it was.
It's a UFO.
Actually, I think we might have actually
just posted the
We
natty
don't know
footage.
what
we might have actually caught a real UFO in this shot.
And no one will believe us now.
There was a white orb that was not moving in the sky. It was not flying, and it seemed like it was too big to be a star, It wasn't moving, so it wasn't a bird. So we literally don't know what this thing is, okay?
Still,
I have no idea what it is.
it's an airplane.
It's not moving.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving.
It doesn't look like it's moving. That's the power of parallax.
I don't know.
I
I'll
think
show it
it's
to you
Venus.
later.
No, I've already seen it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you told me that's what you looked at for reference for the compression.
Okay, well, don't ruin the mystery, Ren. That's the fun of it, isn't it?
I think
You
it's
know, that's
Venus. I think it's Venus. It's
I'm
Venus.
part of a show where we debunk UFOs, and I'm debunking your UFO
Stop
right now.
debunking the UFO.
It's Venus or Serena.
Yeah, Serena Williams.
It's one of those
Either
stars.
one,
I don't
dude.
know.
Either
Either way,
way.
they're both
Either
stars in
way.
their own right, aren't they?
Either
Incredible
way, you got a
achievements.
star.
It's a tennis star. You
Either
really
way, it's a star.
that didn't make the cut either, but he really wanted to get that joke in there. That's literally in the footage.
It's such a good
Literally trying to get in that.
He just
that into
got to
a
get that joke in here somewhere.
video somewhere. And it finally came out on the podcast.
I
He
can't
tried
tell
so
you
hard.
the relief I feel right now that that's out.
Christian, can we edit that out
Oh,
of the podcast?
Christian, no,
Yeah,
please
yeah,
do.
Christian, edit it out.
Please just
Cut it.
Cut it.
Cut it.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
so-
don't
During the
cut
live
it. We
stream,
don't
I'm
cut
saying
anything.
Yeah. So anyway, why am I mentioning this
Woman in black.
this definite UFO in the sky that we found for sure? It's a real UFO. Because it was the same color. It was the same like color values that we had for our UFO. It was a white object, right? So we were like, we can use this to exactly match the compression, the kind of compression. But then it's like a matter of, well, how do you get the compression? You know,
This
to
is what
match?
I'm actually most curious about. I have no idea how you replicated the compression look.
Yeah. Well, Jordan figured it out.
Frame by frame, I painted each pixel. No, no. I
was an artist's
basically,
touch.
took the final comp, everything together, and then batched it out as a JPEG sequence at various levels of compression, going all the way. Dude, have you ever seen a zero quality JPEG sequence?
It's crazy.
It's
actually.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just black and white garbage.
Yes.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
So we basically did like a sliding scale all the way down. And then I created like a noise pattern that would let different values through at different
interesting.
frames. So you're getting like this fluttering like degradation. And when it's closer to the edge, it's more garbage because that's what we were seeing in the footage. So it was a tool kind of built like that, using actual compressed JPEG sequences and then matting it back in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just where the orb was, using the alpha,
That's
an
really
expanded
clever, Jordan.
alpha
Yeah.
Nice.
of the
Super
UFO.
Now
clever.
the noise
Yeah.
map, did you, was it like the regular noise map which has curves to it, which would cut off a compression block with a curve?
No,
Or
so
was it a blocky noise map?
well, I actually took matting it back in. I took the alpha of the actual UFO thing, which of course is perfect and smooth and didn't look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But then I eroded negatively and dilated essentially the mat out
Oh, okay.
and then feathered it in. And that was
Yeah.
enough because it was in motion. It's pretty dramatic. And you're still getting the crazy blocky
Yeah, you
cubic
get
nature
that-
of it all.
That
Yeah.
natural
But you're not
compression.
seeing the hard line that way. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fascinating. That's really cool.
Yeah, so
and
it gives you
works-
that natty
works.
compression because it is compression. It's actual compression.
Yeah.
You know, it's how it works. It's how it works. Because we were thinking like, well, do we, you know, how do we get the effect, right? How
Of
do we
compression,
What is
yeah.
that mosaic filter? What? How do we make it work? No, none of
Just
that stuff
compress
is
it.
working.
Just compress it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we tried MP4 because that's what the file type is for the Tesla. And we took it all the way to the bottom quality wise
Yeah.
for the exports. And it made really no impact.
Yeah.
So we went to JPEG, our beloved JPEG. We knew we could crush the heck out of it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
favorite
Yeah, it
file
worked.
format.
Yeah.
JPEG.
JPEG.
So yeah, at that point we were
JPEG
like,
truly is a pig.
at that at that point we were like, totally, we got it. We have the shot.
Mhm.
This is it, final, right? But you know, there's still the matter of the metadata. That's a huge problem that we had to solve because we knew that, you know, if I was going to upload this in the similar fashion, present it in the same with the same framing device that I used for the original, we were going to get people angry. You know, we were going to get people in the comments going, yo, this footage sucks. We need the original files, right? So I went and I did some research. Google search led me nowhere because for some reason, finding this deep-rooted metadata is a lot harder than you think. It's not just like there's an easy fix for it or a plugin or an app that does it quickly. It's an EXIF data.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
EXIF metadata. So it gives you like the history of the file, like where it's been, you know, it's all the dirty laundry comes out.
Mhm.
And you just can't easily access it through the Windows operating system. So you need, I asked one of our IT guys, because at the end of the day, I just couldn't find it on Google. I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to be looking for, you know? I didn't even know what the questions were to
I remember
ask.
you asking me too, and I was just like,
Yeah, because there's data in here that I didn't know existed, right? So I was like trying to find it, and one of our IT guys, Billy, great, brilliant guy, immediately pointed me in the direction that I needed to go. He gave me this executable where I could actually pull up everything about the file, and not only that. Is I could edit it.
There
right?
you go.
So I could copy and paste the data of the original.
The first file
That's
with
right.
the Matt's super secret, super legit.
Yes. Yeah.
UFO
Get rid of
footage.
all that stuff and paste in the metadata of the original Tesla cam
That's
footage.
awesome.
So that, and I did many tests where it was like I dragged it back into metadata to go just to confirm that there's nothing suspicious, nothing funky in there, and there wasn't. So
Because
Hell
nothing
yeah.
would be more devastating than failing twice via the same avenue.
Yeah.
This really was the crux of the video, and it's what I was most nervous about. I'm
Exactly.
like, man, if this falls to pieces because of the same reason, that's hard to wrap up with a nice little bow at the end.
Yeah, you
Wait,
can't fail
wait.
the same way.
Does the internet know that video is fake yet? Other than the fact that
yeah.
we released the video on Corridor today.
They will know tomorrow.
Yeah,
It'll be,
publicly they'll
it'll be
know.
live
boy.
when this podcast comes out.
Yeah.
And
They'll
but
know
we
tomorrow.
still haven't. The post is still live.
It's all
Okay.
still live.
So
I want to
I'll-
see where it's
I'm just
going.
going to leave it. I'm going to leave it live.
Leave it out.
You
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy the
actually,
comments.
that reminds me, Matt. You got to send me the link to the post.
I did.
Yeah,
I sent you
sorry,
them on-
I forgot to put that in the description.
I sent them on
Before we go
Discord.
I
live.
did.
I sent you
Okay.
both links. I don't know if you just want to use
Should
the
I
one.
put those in the description of the video?
Yeah, why not?
So I want to ask questions about the post, but we're not there yet. So you got a final
Well, yeah.
posting that you want to make,
Yeah.
but you're not going to post it, are you?
No. Oh, Wren, you're right. I can't post it because my account is burned to the ground. The UFO community smells my BS, right? So I can't.
Mumble Films Pro guy, yo,
Dude.
That guy does
do
not.
not admit. Do not.
That guy
admit.
is not legit. Something about the name.
No entry.
So yeah, I was like, okay, so I gotta get some account that has no correlation with me at all, or Corridor Digital or anything like that in filmmaking. So I got a friend of mine from Florida, who's like in Florida, and he was an old time friend. Like he goes all the way back to like early high school, right? So and yeah, so we play Overwatch together.
Nice.
So,
All right.
Yeah, we play video games together, and like I was playing a diva, and we were just like, I just randomly threw out there like, hey, do you have like a Reddit account? And he's like, yeah, I got one with like and it has a lot of karma too. It's got like a lot of, he's got like 8,000 something like that. So
bro's got
you know,
karma. Bro's
he's
got
pretty-
karma.
he's pretty active, and that definitely helps your
Yeah,
posts too.
Because
a lot.
you're a real person at that point.
Yeah. You feel like a real person, and he's not only is he a real person, he's a tree person.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know those tree people.
a tree
monkey?
person. He's a
He's an ent.
Certified
Yeah.
arborist.
I call him a landscaper in the video, I believe, or you did. But he's a horticulturist.
Mhm.
You're going to say something very
Horticulture.
different.
Horticulturist?
You just ended it there.
He's a horticulturist. Yeah. So it's
horticulturalist.
horticulturalist. You're right. So
That's what you mean by tree guy. Okay.
thank you, Jake.
Gotcha.
He does that plant
Horticulturalist.
science. Yes, thank you so much. Anyway, I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, which is good because that means it's not connected at all to us.
That's a good
That's
point.
so far removed from anything that we do or film in general, right? So it worked,
Perfect.
right? It was the perfect
Yeah.
account to use, right? He followed a bunch of tree accounts and stuff. So he's like a tree scientist. Anyway,
And
so yeah.
Somebody
what
even
that meant.
commented that when they dug into him. They were like, hey,
Oh,
dug
that's
into
the
the
best.
OP's profile a little bit. He just seems like a regular Joe Schmo.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
I'm so glad we decided
loved
to do that.
He loved that. Dude,
Yeah,
when I told him they
being
called him
called
a
a
Joe
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 Schmo.
Schmo.
He was a
Every
big
man's
fan.
dream.
Yeah. So that totally worked, right? So we had the angle. The idea was that we would basically get a step removed from the footage itself. And this is the same thing that we did with the first post. Where it's my stepdad sending me the footage of his cockpit in the plane.
I heard it too.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It's great. Yeah, inside of his plane. And in the same sense, it's this man's hand.
Not going.
Cockpit pit.
It's this man in Florida. His aunt, who lives in California, has a Tesla.
Florida man.
Florida
Florida man, yeah.
man
Florida
sees. Yeah, so his aunt from California with her Tesla, sees this UFO, says that's crazy.
And
I'll
everyone
send
from
this.
Florida has an aunt in California.
Exactly.
So that actually makes
That's-
perfect sense.
Yeah,
That is
so real.
always a thing
Right.
that happens. It's
Right.
actually true. That is totally. But yeah, so that was sort of the angle here, was that, you know, he was receiving this footage from someone else. So we're step removed from any questions that they ask in the comments. We can just say like, well, I'll have to ask her, blah
Yeah.
blah blah, right? If we need to. Yeah. So that definitely helps as well. Helps a lot of things. So basically, just having that backstory and like, you know, just kind of not revealing everything at once. You know, all that stuff is super important for this to work.
So then,
So then we posted it. Yes.
Oh, man, I was
Post
so
it.
We
nervous.
posted it.
Post it.
Yeah, we were even more, definitely more nervous than the first one because
Oh,
like I was
yeah.
just
There are
like
stakes now.
just casually posting and just
Yeah.
see what happens, you know. And then this time it was like so much was built up to it, and
Mhm.
so much more work had been done to really make sure that it was gonna be foolproof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, properly.
Yeah, the first time was like when you take a firework that goes shooting off into the sky and you just light it in your hand and you throw it on the ground. I'm like, haha, what's gonna happen? And then it blows up and you're like, ah!
Oh, jeez.
Now the next time you're like, okay, now I'm actually gonna put it in the tube
Yep.
and light it
You
there.
Yep.
sound like you're speaking from experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
mess with fireworks.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I may have privated a couple videos on my YouTube channel back in the day.
Oh my God, I'm
Artillery
sure.
rounds without a mortar can.
Yeah.
No, I made a tutorial on how to make a sparkler bomb. And that was
Oh,
on
yeah?
YouTube for a few years.
How do you make a sparkler bomb, Wren?
Redacted.
Edit it out, just like Jallen's jokes.
Hey.
I'll find a window for him, baby. They'll get in there.
He's
Okay,
doing
so
improv
yes,
on Thursday, everybody. You want to come down? He's got a place.
All the jokes that got cut. I got a list of all the jokes that got
He's
cut.
got a list of the jokes. He's the guy.
No context. I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
the words.
yeah,
It'll be great.
I got a timeline just for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so the post goes live. It also like pops off pretty quick,
Yeah.
and that's cool. Like that's great.
That was a relief.
That's already a relief that it was like starting to get going. But we were like, we needed that like extra sauce
Mhm.
to like push it over the edge. We needed that secondary account.
Yeah.
That could like do, because this one was
The
even
analysis.
this one was even more subtle. You know, we posted like just the natty raw footage
Mhm.
from the Tesla cam, and it was like so hard to see the thing moving
Mhm.
by that a lot of people in the comments were super mad, and they were like, "Hey, yo, like."
I feel like it
Use
was
a circle.
easier to see than the first one you did.
Yeah, the first one I didn't see it the first few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something about, I don't know, man. I think it was the fact that I was zooming in, like pinching and zooming in, that made people see it a little bit more. I don't know. But that didn't necessarily need an additional account to fuel it. So yeah, this one was just a little bit more like, well, if we want to really get it popping off, let's use the
XXX
services.
files XXX.
Dust it off,
That's
dude.
right,
Dust
baby.
it
Yeah.
off.
Dusting it.
It's time, baby. Deploy.
And then, yeah, because because that account was so active in the UFO community,
Right.
it made
Was it
sense.
really?
Yes.
Yeah, he was-
A trusted
Yes.
ally has come to the
because
aid.
our trusted ally from Canada, our Canadian ally,
Mhm.
Project
Fenner.
Maple Leaf.
that's why it's called that, folks, because of the
Oh.
Canadian influence. Yeah, you see that?
Okay,
Yeah.
So wait, when you say that this account was active, this is an account that Fenner made just on the side for
Yeah.
this project.
That's what he says.
but he's
That's
been
what he
using
says.
it.
Yeah, that's what he said. I
He
mean, it's just an
claims.
excuse.
Yeah.
He's like, I did all this for you.
No,
It's
like
like,
the
nah,
UFO
you have a
stuff. I just did
problem.
it for the video. You know, he's just been like actively
it's
liking.
not me.
this is I have
just
to,
made
you know.
like 2,000 posts.
Yeah, dude. You know, it's like I'm friggin'. It's an investment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys said do this, and I just figured I'd do it.
Yeah.
I'm just not weird.
Don't get weird.
Anyway, that like so what I did was I took the original footage and then I doctored it. I did like, or not doctored it, but like I made it, I gave it like the extra sauce that the UFO community likes,
red
which is
circles.
the
Oh,
red
you need
circles, the like extra
You gave it the
crunchy
thumbnail
zoom
treatment.
ins. Yeah, like just extra super contrasty stuff to really see it.
Yeah.
You know, like just showing every aspect of the thing that we just see. And it was great because like crunching it up actually made it look more realistic.
Yeah.
Because
that compression.
we did the compression stuff, you know.
100%.
If we hadn't done that, it wouldn't have worked nearly as well.
Well, that was one of the things that we did on the back end before putting it out was just testing it with all sorts of
Yeah.
different compressions and
Crunch it up.
higher, lower gain higher, lower gammas, like combinations of all the above. And that's when you really started to see it stand out. And I was like, people are definitely going to do this. People are going to download this and like test it.
Basic question for me. What is gamma?
Gamma.
What is gamma? I mean, gamma, I just understand it's like it's you
gamma.
ever seen the whole?
Gamma?
That's actually a really good question. We need Nico for that.
Noise, but
gain is like the brights essentially.
Yeah.
If anyone in the comments knows what gamma is.
No, gamma's essentially like your mid bias.
Oh, it's your mid. Okay.
So if you have like your gain, at 1 or whatever, and your lift at 0, which is the blacks or whatever,
okay.
your gamma is essentially the bias as to like what is white and black, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm butchering that, but it's driving that. So
that's
great.
that
playing around with that.
Yeah, you could have said anything. I would have been like,
yeah.
The whole
for sure.
It's gamma.
When I got hit with gamma rays and mutated, that was like I got hit with a mid-range of light that had some sort of mutative element to it that was
you clearly
relative
understand
to
it.
the lift and the gain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You clearly understand it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Mastered
you.
it.
This guy gets it.
Thank you.
This guy gammas.
He gammas it up.
But so the compression helped in those close-ups.
Yeah, for sure.
I totally agree.
You know the craziest thing about this in like terms of like the social engineering aspect of it and like what we had to do mentally was like we had to put ourselves in the shoes of everyone that was looking at the video. Like the post, the angle, the spin that we put on it, the backstory, all that stuff was like, well, when we present it, if I'm just a guy on Reddit, like what's the most believable version of this? Like what at every aspect, like including having to zoom in and look at the thing. Cause like if they were to download the footage and see it and let's really zoom in, like what would they find, you know? Like we had to think about all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so different than like traditional VFX because obviously you want it to look real and integrated and that's great. But people are going to watch it once at full speed. And there's also an idea of suspension of disbelief if it's a creative piece and whatnot. This is like, I'm trying to fool you. Huh?
They're very good at suspension of disbelief. They want to believe.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true.
Yeah.
But I was like, this one, there's going to be someone who's pausing it, going frame by frame, who's zooming in, who's applying filters, like testing every side of this thing to try and find a crack. So we had to be as thorough as possible.
Yeah.
I love the detail that you made it more crunchy the closer to the edge that it got.
Yeah.
Because that's an actual effect.
Yeah, it's because it was real compression, you know? Yeah, it was actually doing that stuff. So which is great. But yeah, like so you said they want to believe, right? They do want to believe, but it's clearly like super hard to like actually get it.
Yeah.
Them believing it.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Because it's not like as easy as just like, you know, throwing a VFX shot in there. We saw like many posts where there were clearly fake VFX and everybody didn't believe. No one was buying it in the comments, you know? Yeah, it was completely lambasted. So like there was that extra level of thought and care that went into it because they're super critical, you know, it's a super critical community and it's people that they really care about stuff that like actually is unidentifiable, you know, like without any crack and crevice, right?
Yeah. And that it was the constant battle between how much you show versus how much you hide. And like even Matt was working from home one of the days when I was doing the animation of it throughout the 3 cameras. And I was losing my mind because I'm like, is this too weird? Is it not weird enough? And I watched it too much that I became numb to it, and I had to wait till he came back. And he's like, "Oh no, that's too much, or that's too." I can't remember what it was, but you know, it's like you're trying to put on this critical thinking hat, but you're the one doing it, and you're way too close to it the whole time. So
you know
it's very scary to send it off into the world.
I think I remember that it was a little too subtle.
It was a little too subtle. That is my tendency.
Yeah, it was a little too hard to see.
Here's my thing that I want to ask you both about all of this. Having gone through this, I mean, what you've done here, gentlemen, is you've created a true piece of propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You are the Russia.
Yeah. Kremlin, please don't hire us.
Matt is the Putin of Corridor.
Please don't contact us.
Are there any concerns?
Well, you're perfect for the job.
Are there any concerns about, you know, Chinese or Russian affiliates, you know, sort of reaching out and asking and saying, hey,
no.
Can
honestly,
you guys,
no, because we do a behind the scenes video right after. So
yeah,
true.
That'll work for them.
We only do a breakdown that shows them exactly how to pull it off.
Russian propagandist firm hired us to make a video.
How we faked war propaganda. And it says on the thing going, oh,
oops.
What?
You know, it was funny is with the Bosstown dynamics, especially the military range one, we didn't intend that to be like we tried to make it very clear that it was obviously fake, especially the more of it you watch, but people took it out of context.
It was so
Yeah,
absurd,
out of
yeah.
context immediately.
Well, we
And
tried
then-
to add enough absurdity that any amount of like logic applied to it was like, yeah, obviously this isn't fake.
What
This
I
is
didn't
stupid.
expect
You
is
overestimate.
how much people would want to take it out of context.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one thing I didn't expect. And that's the one thing we learned with that video. Like we thought, okay, people may take this out of context. So what we're going to do is we're going to post it in one place. We're going to make it absurd. We're going to make it very obvious that it's not real.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a video showing that it's not real. And then we're going to put out another video showing that it's not real. And
Right.
the eagerness to take it out of context
Mhm.
was like that was the thing I learned about humanity on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I'm not surprised at all. Not
so
surprised at all.
Have you felt any of that yet, or do you have any concern of that at this point? Because
Nah.
I mean,
I don't personally.
No, yeah, and I think at the end of the day, like if there's, I'm not trying to like get a message out at the end of this necessarily, but if there's one takeaway from this, I think it should really be like this stuff, like footage like this. It is hard to fake, but it's not impossible, you know.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
should not believe everything you see on the internet
100%.
just at face value, you know.
Mhm.
Do your research, do some digging, you know. Like don't just spread all this nonsense around and just, you know.
Yeah.
And I-
Because there's so much of it going around.
I would also say that too, like with our artist hat on a little bit, it was a fun challenge. It's like, can we fool people who are
Yeah.
looking for fakery?
Yeah.
And I think we went in with 3 main goals. We wanted it to kind of pop off a little bit. And it got how many 100,000? views at the end of the
like
day?
total combined, it was like 300.
Yeah, 300, north of
300 plus.
300,000 views, which is great. Like that definitely passed what I was hoping for
Yeah.
personally. Also, it seemed like nobody sniffed VFX, which was
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
Like everyone thought either bird, drone, plane, like all the other things,
Yeah.
except for visual effects, which was great.
yeah,
and
that's
of course,
the perfect illusion.
yeah, that felt really good. And then of course, it's the last piece, which is Matt's redemption arc of putting it on there with the metadata and no one
Yeah.
being able to derive anything from it. So those are the 3 check boxes that we kind of had laid out in front of us, and we checked them off.
Yeah.
And so as a personal challenge, it was very rewarding, you know.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
apart from that,
Although
it's
I will say, Matt, I gave you like 20 or 30 minutes worth of footage. And I consider myself to be a pretty good driver. I'm a safe driver.
oh no.
But there was a comment.
I didn't see this.
You have thought about this for weeks,
can't
probably.
not
You've been
think
thinking
about
about
this.
this the whole
What did
time.
he say?
Please, Red. What did the comments say?
So in
Taking
the
that turn a
side
little
view
aggressively,
shot,
huh?
I cut the corner a little bit. This is on a road where we're going like 20 miles an hour, and there's like 100 bicyclists coming up this thing. So I'm like going really slow, and I cut the corner a little bit on the sharp corner, and so you can see in the side view camera view, my tire goes over the yellow line like a few inches before going back in. And there's a comment on that Reddit thread that just started tearing into your
Lambasting.
aunt
Yo,
about how bad of a
lambasting
driver your
your
aunt
aunt.
is.
Oh my
And it hurt me personally so much because I'm like, oh my God, they're right. What have I become? Why did I do? I was
Wow.
like
Gotcha.
so upset. I was not, you pointed it out to me and I was not able to think about anything else for the entire weekend after it had gone
That
live.
is amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He's looking at footage of a UFO and he's focused on
Right.
your tire position.
Yeah, right? That's crazy.
Oh, that's
That-
amazing.
I mean, UFO is like whatever.
summarizes- To me, that like epitomizes Reddit in its entirety.
yeah.
Like
Sounds
you're,
about
you're,
right.
you're trying to do this, and then somebody goes off about how somebody went 2 inches over the yellow line on a very curvy mountain road.
Yeah.
I think they were like a motorcyclist, and that's like a big pet peeve of motorcyclists
Yes,
is people
it
like
is,
cutting
but,
corners.
like, yeah, but
Which,
I mean, that's
again,
also
I was wrong, but-
motorcyclists do it too, all the time.
Oh my
by
God.
the
And
way.
like literally earlier that day, I almost got run over by a car. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like
one
literally, I
wheel?
almost got run over by a car because they were in like those like souped up like Japanese cars. That,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and they come ripping around this corner. And I remember looking up as far as I could see, there's no car. And I look back this way and I start crossing the road on my one wheel because we're going
They
on
were
this one
actually
wheel trip.
filming Fast 11. That's why.
Yeah,
I felt like I was in the middle of it. Not kidding. And like literally we all had a moment of like, that car missed you by like a couple feet. Cause I managed to just like, I tried to get off the road as quick as I could. I ended up nosediving off of the road into a ditch just in time for the car to come drifting around the corner.
Whoa. Was that, and that was on the trip that Matt made you go on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Are you saying
very
it would have been
carefully.
me to blame if things went
Wow,
sour.
Matt, that was not cool, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, wow.
like it
it's
was one
all
of those
your
things
fault.
where like I
Watch
tried to
where you're
accelerate
going.
off the road
Come
and my
on.
nose just died and I ended up just doing like this nose drag off of the road and just like into a ditch.
Yikes.
And like my friends who were there are all just like, I thought you were gonna die.
Wow.
Like that was a real thing that happened.
Wow.
And that was, that was,
there's some punks that go up Angeles Crest and ride it like that on the weekends.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Either way,
Yeah.
you're the one that gets lambasted for the
Yeah,
slight-
every weekend somebody gets hurt up there doing that. Every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
but I didn't get hurt. And I'm here now having
Yes,
fun
you are.
about it.
Thank God. Thank God. We're glad you're here.
Hey, to us.
But I can't stop
family.
thinking about that one comment.
Yeah, right?
Your family.
I know.
I just slipped that one in
Just
there.
disgracing your driving skills. Yeah.
It was like a comment like, the footage is kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
But screw that stupid Tesla owner and their awful driving. And like, I was like, whoa.
Oh, that's what it was. It was.
I
the
didn't mean
built-up
anything
tension
by
towards
it.
The Tesla owner, not.
I mean,
the
maybe.
aunt
I mean,
herself.
who knows?
Yeah. The comments were great though in those posts.
Yeah,
There's a wide
fantastic.
variety of them, a lot of different angles on it, a lot of different thoughts. So yeah, if you want to check those out, I mean, go watch the video on Corridor Crew, and we got some links.
I'm
too,
going to
if
do
you
it
want.
as soon as I get home.
Please do. Yeah.
Hell yeah,
it's a fun
brother.
one.
I'm really glad we did it. Thanks for taking the time to explain it to everybody, and really thanks for doing that natty compression, Jordan. Really, I think
Oh,
that's
man. It was
the
necessary,
silent
wasn't it?
star of the show.
It was
is
necessary,
that.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh man! All right.
That's actually
I'm
a
gonna
really
play
pro
us
tip
out.
for getting compression.
Yeah. It's a
Just
good one.
compress it. Who would have thought? You know?
Who would have thought just compressed?
Can
the
you give
image?
us a song on compression, Jake?
Like Nico,
yeah,
him
I
and
got
I always
you.
had this trick for like degrading footage. You basically add a tiny bit of blur, and then some sharpening, a little bit more blur, a little bit more sharpening, a little bit more blur, a little bit more sharpening. You kind of just do that over, like we're talking like a value of like 1 or 2 over and over and over again, and it like does weird things to your footage, but it
Okay.
doesn't like do the compression artifacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's a
something
different
very
thing.
specific to the
Yeah.
look of it. Yeah, that we just couldn't get down any other way. So, but I'm glad we arrived at that.
All right. Are you ready?
Take us away.
When your footage is low, when your footage. Wait, let me start over. Hold on.
No, you
Hey,
got
you guys
it.
have seen Punch for Punch, our new show Head for Head coming soon. That's exciting. I don't know what it's about, but visually interesting.
When your footage is high and low, when your gain is in the middle, or is it gamma? I don't know.
It's Gamma's in the middle.
It's Gamma. It's Gamma.
Just compress it.
Oh, they should play this. They should play this in colleges.
Just compress
in
it.
college film schools.
Just compress it.
Look at this. There's like a compositing 101
Just compress
course. When your footage is high and
3,
low.
2, 1.